Greetings, Flesh Wound Horror freaks, and welcome to Flesh Wound Horror Live. Todd's got the vid, so I guess
the vid. So there's a sex
Video
scandal going
girl.
on. Yeah.
Got it.
Hope it's not. Hope
Could've
the
gotten
audio's
it that way.
not there because that's a lot of no's.
He didn't give one of his victims a test beforehand, and it's all fucking messy now.
That's the coughing was gagging. That's all.
But we wish him a speedy recovery, and yeah, we love you.
Yeah,
Love the fuck out of you, Todd.
just from a distance right now. So yes, I'm Flesh Wound Dan. That's
Ooh.
Mike Kruger.
What's
What
up?
the fuck? And that's Plugs Dread.
Namaste. Fuck damn.
Damn. So
I gotta double down because Todd's not here, Dan.
just you gotta double the asshole when Todd's
Double
not here. I understand.
Brothers of Destruction 2-on-1 handicap.
There you go. There you
We're
go.
just beating you up like fucking Vince with the steel steps.
Yeah.
I'm ready for
Fucking
it.
thing.
I'm
All right.
Omos. I'm like ready to crush you both. God.
Good luck.
So
I'll look into
anyway.
Atlanta tickets. Kruger, don't worry. Ass kicking on me.
So
Big Omos in a fucking hat now. God damn it.
that's what would get him over is the hat.
Sure.
That's what would get him over. Just yeah, man.
Let's move on before I say something.
It's Halloween season.
It
What are
is
we
Halloween.
reviewing today?
We got a bunch of reviews for you guys tonight, and yeah, but what have you guys been up to? We're getting we're getting deeper into October, aren't we?
Yeah, dude, I'm already getting nervous because we're at the we're almost to the halfway point already, and I feel like I haven't had enough October for it to already be half over. But I've been doing a lot of my yearly rewatches when it comes to just movies and stuff. Rewatched House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects last night. It's always two I gotta get in every Halloween. And tonight I will be preparing for Halloween ends tomorrow. So gonna get in the original 2018 and Kills probably all tonight after we get off the show.
Excellent.
Awesome,
I decided
awesome.
not to revisit those. I just want to go in.
Go in with your own thing. Yeah, I'm a sucker when it comes to that shit. I feel like every time a new movie comes out, I just have to rewatch everything. But since I haven't had time to rewatch everything, I figure we'll just stick with this timeline, and then after I watch Ends, I'll sprinkle out the rest of the Halloweens throughout the month.
Right on.
I always have Halloween 3 on Halloween night, though. That and Trick or Treat are usually the two I watch that night.
That's a good time.
That's awesome. I've been getting my stuff together for Scarefest.
All right, you got your remote control vibrator all set up there.
You got your chloroform?
Man, it's hard to do that at a convention, but I'm sure it happens.
So you're not even gonna try? What a quitter!
There is somebody booked there.
Have you been to CAC? I'm just saying, everybody's getting fucking laid there.
Nice.
Spooky Empire is like the sex convention. I've heard stories about that. It's Florida. There's something about Florida. There's a lot of like kink shit in Florida. Spooky Empire is where you go for that. But I don't know. Maybe Scarefest. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, if you see me down there or any of the many podcasters down there, be sure to say hi.
Yeah.
Free photo ops. I'll be generous. So free photo ops.
Or you can give him $1 just to leave you alone. That'd be cool.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
So anyway, gas is expensive.
That'd be very true.
So on that note, I guess we'll get right into it because we do have a Halloween movie that we reported on a while ago. Spirit Halloween the movie. Was very curious when they announced it. I mean, certainly kind of feels a bit gimmicky, but let's see if they if this one delivers. So it's from director David Pogue, and in this, when a Halloween store opens in a deserted strip mall, 3 friends thinking they've outgrown trick-or-treating decide to spend the night locked inside. But their night of spook-filled fun soon turns to outlandish survival. All right, so Spirit Halloween, the movie. They actually shot this one in Rome, Georgia, at an abandoned Toys R Us, which you see.
I could tell by the colors. It felt so good and so sad.
That is awesome, though. Like, I'm like, unless something else specific takes it, like, leave that. They're landmarks at this point.
Mm-hmm. Those tiles, man, that took me back.
It is weird to think that there are no more Toys R Us. I mean, it was such a staple for everybody.
Wasn't there like a couple that popped back up?
That was a rumor, and there's like I don't know if it's Macy's or something, like Toys R Us is coming to Macy's, and I'm saying
no, there's an actual store somewhere. I know I saw something.
Is it like the last Blockbuster? Like the last?
Yeah, I don't know if it's that situation. I'd have to do some research, but I feel like there is still at least maybe a couple out there. At least from what I saw, because I think I saw somebody post about it in the NECA group, because NECA. Like Toys R Us used to be the central for all NECA figures until they went out of business and became Target. So I used to go to Toys R Us almost weekly.
I think we all did, sir. Maybe twice, 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
I would like to talk about this movie for sure. Ben Grimm, Toys R Us is still in Canada. Oh.
Okay. Yeah, then that must be what it is.
But like old school Toys R Us, or is this like some new rebooted version?
No, it's like the old store.
Okay.
So it just wasn't for America. Damn it. We're going backwards. Any fucking way. This movie.
Fucking Canadians. God damn it.
So, shake harder, boy. So I don't remember seeing the trailer for this. I just remember hearing it was coming out. And then Sunday I actually saw Todd and I asked him because my time was running short. I'm like, do you think I would like this? And this motherfucker sold me like nobody's business. Because as soon as I started watching this, Christopher Lloyd popped up, and I guess he was in the trailer. I had no idea. And I was like, oh, I think I'm going to be in for a treat. Now, I don't think this movie is going to be for everybody, but I do think it's kind of brilliant for like entry-level horror. I would say it's a perfect entry-level horror movie. This is going to be somebody's Hocus Pocus, Ernest Scared Stupid, like a Beetlejuice. Someone like this will be someone's. I don't feel like it's Halloween until I watch this movie. Dan, you are an old man. I'm not talking.
I don't know about Beetlejuice.
I'm just saying some people watch that first, and it doesn't feel like Halloween until they watch that movie. So that's what I'm correlating. So this one, I guarantee you, there will be some little kid out there that they just became a spooky fan, and they're going to grow up to be a horror fan, which is fucking wonderful. So between this one, between Spirit Halloween, the movie, and Terrifier 2, my spectrum of Halloween is fucking covered this year. I am now playing with house money. So, yeah, I absolutely love this. Now, I did use the word perfect, but I'm great on a level because like some of the acting is shoddy, but they're children, so you get a pass. So for me, again, wholesome as fuck. That's a weird phrase to use, but that's what I think this is. I absolutely adored this one. And I do want to know Todd's opinion on how they showed Night of the Living Dead. Because, again, here and Terrifier 2. Fuck yeah. Yeah, this is fucking fun. And I think it's going to be a yearly watch for me now.
Oh, nice. Did you Kruger, did you like that they used some of the actual animatronics? I know Buzzsaw, Nightcrawler, and Mr. Dark were in there.
It was okay. Like, as far as I go with this movie, it's definitely way kiddier than something I would be just automatically willing to watch if it wasn't a Spirit Halloween store movie. And I love Spirit, but it's very kiddie. And there are a couple of moments that made me laugh, like when the little girl, stepsister, the main character, walks in the room and is like, "Your dad died of bone cancer." I was like, well, Jesus Christ, you fucking little bitch! Like
that line and the line before when princesses suck died.
Yeah. So there's a few laughs to be had here, but the first 40 minutes I felt like were really fucking slow, at least for me. And we do get some possessed animatronics that come into play, but at the same time, it feels like more like a Disney Halloween movie than anything. And that, I mean, that's fine for some people, but for me, I wanted a little bit more. But I can see younger fans of just, you know, Halloween in general really enjoying this film. And it's probably, you know, probably a good one for the kids, but for me, it's below average. But I'm not going to fault you if you had a good time with it, because there's stuff to be had. You already talked about Christopher Lloyd and shit. So, yeah, it's just okay for me, but
it took me back.
but again, like I'm very picky when it comes to kids films. You know, it has to be something I usually grew up with, or just something that I have a crazy nostalgia for me to enjoy it. And this is just one of them that, you know, falls through the cracks for me. But it's okay if you like it, because I think there is stuff to, you know, be liked about it.
Yeah. And just before you move on, Dan, Todd showed up in the chat there. He agrees with me, so he's co-signing.
There we go. So I actually did like this one quite a bit. I mean, it is kind of your typical, like, sort of Goosebumps feel to it. I didn't think it was overly kiddie compared to, like, I wouldn't go Disney Channel. I've watched some of that stuff.
Hocus Pocus is like Disney, so yeah, I think it fits.
Or Under Wraps, like, you know, it has the
better
same
than that.
Yeah, at least what I've seen of stuff they watch, I'd put this above all of that. It's not, again, it's not perfect. It's not necessarily made for us, but I did enjoy it. Rachel Lee Cook, who I haven't seen in anything in a while, still looks fantastic as the mom. Still weird. She's playing a mom now. I mean, she's like 43.
Wait till our peers start playing grandparents. That's coming soon.
Yeah, that will be. It's not as far off as you think, really. So, but yeah, still beautiful as ever. We don't get Christopher Lloyd for very long. We get his voice,
like a
for
cameo.
the most part. So, you know, don't think of it as a Christopher Lloyd movie, even though, you know, he always tends to be near top billing. But
it's better than what we got with that fucking Netflix movie that had Robert Englund, that they were billing Robert Englund was in it, and it was just his voice. What the fuck was it?
I don't remember, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, at least in this scene, you get one scene with Christopher Lloyd in it. So
Danny Trejo is the worst offender. There was one movie I clocked him at like almost a minute on the dot.
Wasn't it that Latino Scream movie that you were
something in the woods? But Dan's talking in general. That's not Danny's fault. They know his day rate, and they're willing to pay it, and you can put him on the cover.
1 minute. And it was like a really crappy exorcism movie. And he's in the opening scene as like a priest. 1 minute, barely a minute. And
I love that guy.
Out of it. Man. I love Danny Trejo too.
Machete.
So, yeah, I mean, there could be more of a sense of danger, though, even in a kid's movie. That's one issue I had. Like, all of these possessed animatronics are usually taken out by Nerf gun darts, so it's like, you know, funny. Give me a little more danger there. You know,
that slow motion gun thing, that was hilarious, dude. Like, that's not, those jokes won't land for adults and stuff, but like, I could tell, like, that's adorable.
One thing I'll say, in a perfect world, though, I would have had like animatronics of actual horror characters. That would have elevated it to me, you know, on another
and they all should have licensed that for free, since they all, you know, they pack their pockets too.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure it would have cost an arm and a leg to fucking have a animatronic Michael Myers trying to kill these kids, but it would have been awesome. You see fucking the Big Four go after them. That's a really good sequel right there.
Yeah, it's a good children's Halloween adventure. Actually, I see it's listed as PG-13, and I'm not sure why.
I thought it was
Get the fuck out of here! Yeah,
on IMDb, anyways, it's not always accurate.
I mean, maybe PG for the cancer line.
but yeah, no, it's a fun kids adventure. I mean, Buzzsaw looked cool coming to life. It's just, what are you gonna do with Buzzsaw? It's a kids movie. You're not gonna see anybody get cut in half. The guys in suits, you know, it all worked. It wasn't as ridiculously CG heavy as you'd expect. It's you know, they did a pretty good job on this, and I thought the child actors did a good job. There's some emotion here too, so it's not just your average dumb Disney movie.
You could tell whoever wrote this watched both Chucky and Stranger Things, because like the characters feel very similar.
This felt like a child telling an adult a dream they had about being stuck in Spirit Halloween. If that's how it came up, give that kid more candy this year, because that's genius.
Yeah. You know what? That's actually a really, really good assessment of this movie.
And like we got the adult version with Ash, Bruce Campbell. We just saw that not too long ago.
Oh, Black Friday.
Thank you. Yeah, it's just like that. Ben Grimm. Did it feel like an ad for their products? Yeah.
Yeah, but not
all in the back. It's smartly done, dude.
Yeah, it's not obnoxious.
It takes place in the store, so no, it's not like a Mac and Me level thing. It's there. I mean, and they do a pretty good job of establishing that sort of small town Halloween feel, even though we spend most of our time in the store.
I was disappointed nobody got like a special mug broken over their head, because that Spirit's like thing now is they make all the gimmick mugs. So I was mad that I didn't see somebody get cracked over the head with like a Sam mug or a Pennywise mug. That would have been nice.
That's where I do feel like if there's one thing that's lacking, it is sort of that peril with the kid. I never really had any feeling that they were in danger.
I mean, it's a kid's movie, though.
Well, yeah, but like something, I don't know. Like these animatronics just all are so easily taken out. It's but it is fun.
And I think you got to spend it a little more.
But you invoked Beetlejuice. It's no.
I'm saying it's the feeling. I understand. I would if you're going to ask me to compare this to Beetlejuice would kick the shit out of this.
Yeah, shit, we could have had Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice is all over Spirit. But all right, well, let's go ahead and rate this one. What say you, Pugs?
I think it's no surprise. I said I'm going to add it to my yearly watch. It's a 5 out of 5 for me. I was way too entertained. I wouldn't be surprised if this makes my top 10.
Holy shit.
No bullshit.
Wow, all right. I was not expecting that.
Dude, it took me back to like 4th grade. I'm like, this is great. I'll go trick-or-treating with this fucker.
That's fair.
Well, I don't know how it's going to play for adults, but for a kid's Halloween movie, it's above average. I give it a 3. Definitely watch it with your kids. You won't be staring at the wall like you probably do with a lot of other things. Like I said, I've seen that zombie show on Disney with my nieces. That is painful.
Todd is a hashtag 5 out of 5. Hashtag me too. Right on.
All right. And I am a 2 out of 5.
Okay.
All right. Sweet.
For my preferences, makes sense.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna shame you because I get it.
Like Terrifier 2 brought me back to when I was a 4-year-old kid, like watching old slashers for the first time.
Wow, that's like some heavy shit for 4.
But I mean, when I was 4, the kills back then meant a lot more than they do now. I've seen too much now, so Terrifier 2 had to crank it up a little bit. Speaking of which, just because I plug this every time, you can see Terrifier 2 in the theater still. They extended it for a week, so Terrifier 2 the movie.com, get your fucking tickets and go see it on the biggest screen possible, but you may want to bring a barf bag according to the internet. So
yeah, and some smelling salts.
I love just hearing people passing out.
I like that there's photo proof this time.
Yeah, well, dude, the best was this. There was this one guy, and he takes this video, and it's just a trail of vomit from the theater all the way into the fucking bathroom. I was crying, laughing. I mean, the fact that we're getting reactions like this is, first off, absurd. I didn't think it was even fucking possible with how violent video games are, but it's happening, and I love it. Thank God.
Todd also chimes in with Spirit Halloween. The movie is also still in theaters. So if you want to see that on the big screen, get your asses out there.
Yeah, no, I haven't really seen that playing anywhere.
It's probably limited release, but
yeah,
it must be.
If it's in your area, go for it. I hope we get sequels. We do need a more iconic, like the Reaper from the bag or the big thing. Christopher Lloyd should have came back around. But
yeah, and I think you can get away with a little bit more, especially if that's a PG-13 rating. They definitely could have.
Yeah, they could have had somebody fucking die. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. All right, next movie. All right, next movie.
Okay.
House of Darkness from director Neil LaBute, who did the Nick Cage Wicker Man. And in this one, Hap offers Mina a ride home with ulterior motives, but his night takes a turn when he learns she lives in a creepy American castle, and the shadowy figures in the corridors make it clear that he isn't welcome. Whew. All right. I'm not even gonna.
You've already tipped your hat a little bit, so let's leave you for last. I want to get the hot tag in here real quick.
Oh, okay, cool. Go for it.
One thing I'll say about this movie is I just really like Justin Long. I think he's a fantastic actor, and anytime I get to see him in peril in a horror movie, I end up enjoying it. And I think a lot of that had to do with why I didn't hate this movie. But there's a couple of things I think it does right. There's good awkward tension from the get-go. And personally, being back on the dating scene recently, some of the awkward dialogue that he's saying throughout the film felt very authentic to me, just because I've been there, and it made sense, especially when you have a couple of drinks in you too. But the story drags on to nowhere until the last 15 minutes. We do get a decent monologue by one of the sisters, describing kind of their little origin story. But outside of that, this is a lot of me screaming at my TV, telling Justin Long, just get the fuck out of there. Why the fuck are you still staying here? Like, dude, if it was me, I would have jumped out the window like I was fucking Sally in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre at multiple fucking times. But where the story does take us to end the movie, it featured a couple of solid gore moments that didn't make me hate it, even though overall I was expecting a lot more out of this. Isn't this a Edgar Allan Poe adaptation as well? Dan, I thought it was.
I don't think so.
No,
I thought I read that somewhere.
Well, I'll get into it. I mean, it is a reimagining of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, so I mean, it had something to do with. I think if you're a fan of that, literature, maybe don't watch the movie. But if you're a fan of Justin Long and you watched Barbarian or something else with him this year, and you just kind of want something to throw on, I don't think this is the worst film in the world. And I can see it having a audience, maybe a more stronger feminine audience. But as a guy, I didn't think it was fucking awful. I would say it's about average. But if it didn't have that gore at the end, I would have went a lot lower with my rating, and I probably would have hated it. But they brought it home in the ending. It's just a slow burn, and it feels like it's going nowhere until the last 10 minutes.
Gotcha.
All right, Pugs.
Sure. I actually enjoy movies like this where it's like mostly talking. It's like on TV, they're called bottleneck episodes, and they're just trying to save money for the season finale or something big. I think Justin Long was great. The female leads were good. But they kind of took their sweet ass time to get there, and by the end, I was checked out. And I think this is weird. We haven't covered The Invitation yet, but this feels
Still
like
it's. Seen it.
Oh, okay. Well, I won't ruin it, but it should be like one of those is a straight to home video movie, and one of them is a theatrical movie, and they kind of reversed it for me, or limited release, whatever it is. It's a similar vibe. I think I like the other one better, but I still don't like that one that much. The sets, the house is fucking gorgeous. I love that. So if we can just take a tour of that, I would have been cool. Yeah, overall, this didn't offend me too much, and I don't love it as much as I thought I would, because I do like Tusk. I know people don't like that. You're crazy. That movie's cool as fuck.
No, it's a cool movie.
No, but there's a lot of people out there.
No, I get it. It's one of those ones where I watched Tusk the first time, fucking hated it, and then I was like, hold on a minute, let me go watch the Human Centipede movies first again, and then kind of understand it's almost like a satire on it, and I like that a lot.
It came from an article in the newspaper, and also the Iron Man fight from the first movie, Iron Man versus Ironmonger. So ideas spark wherever. But this movie, it's okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't rush out to see it.
Yeah, I think unless you're a fucking diehard Justin Long fan, this isn't something that, you need to rent or go out of your way of seeing. But if it pops up on streaming and that's somebody you like, throw it on. I don't think you'll hate it completely.
Dan, I want to know if your eyebrows popped when you started hearing the names of these ladies.
Well, all right. So I'm amazed any of you had something nice to say about this one, because I thought it was a fucking piece of crap from beginning to end. I hated this movie so much. I won't do direct spoilers, but there's nothing to spoil. I mean, the two of the ladies, Mina, Lucy, you probably know where this movie's going. I certainly did. It is Justin Long's Justin Long. That's fine. He basically plays a similar version to the barbarian character.
Yeah, it almost felt like this was a prequel.
I haven't seen a review.
Okay, my bad.
It's cool.
But that didn't matter. I mean, Kate Bosworth, she's a good actress. That doesn't matter. The cast is fine. This movie is pretentious fucking trash. It is this redundant dialogue. Just the whole movie is basically. And those are the character names, I think that probably gives it to most of you what the twist is. There is no twist to speak of. And most of it is just Justin Long trying to get his dick wet and constantly putting his foot in his mouth. And it's just repetitive dialogue.
Too close to home, Dan.
Over and over and over. Nothing happens in this movie. There's nothing compelling. I mean, again, I know how this movie's going to end. So it's kind of
Harvey.
The whole thing is just kind of a road to nowhere, and I would be amazed if I'm shocked that you guys had anything good to say. I thought this would be a rip fest because
we're not really high on the movie, Dan. We're just choosing to critique it a different way.
Look, I love dialogue-driven horror movies where not a lot happens in terms of action. You can go back and look at some of the movies that I've given high marks to, but there is nothing. There's no meat to the story. The characters, they're not interesting. Again, not the actors' faults. I like Justin Long. I like Kate Bosworth quite a bit, but there's just nothing interesting going on. You could walk out of the room for 20-30 minutes at any given time and not miss a thing.
I agree when the mom bitch walks in.
I agree with that, but I think just because I do like Justin Long and this felt, I don't get Justin Long in a lot of horror anymore. And the fact that I was able to get 2 Justin Long horror movies in 1 year, it maybe had me feel a little bit more forgiving about it. And like I said, the final act featured some solid gore. I don't think anybody can argue that. The gore looked good. It wasn't cheap looking, and it served a purpose because the whole fucking movie you're building to this because there's literally nothing else happening. But at the end of the day, I didn't hate it because there was a guy I really enjoyed and a couple pieces of eye candy I liked looking at, and I got some gore at the end. So
Piz says, I'm with Dan on this one. Total waste of time. Watch In the Company of Men, a much better film. And it went away.
I believe
from the same director.
Yeah.
And then Ben Grimm says, Dan, I believe you'll find love one day.
Well,
not in this movie.
Yeah, definitely not with this movie. I thought this was one of the worst horror movies I've seen in the last several years.
Really?
Like, that's how bad I hate it. I mean, when you say eye candy, let's not have that imply any kind of eroticism or anything.
Oh no,
it's
but the women were nice to look at.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, very lovely. Gia Crobatin, I believe, played Lucy, and Kate Bosworth as Mina.
Mina was the brunette or redhead sister.
Kate Bosworth, the blonde.
The blonde.
Yeah. Just the whole. This one was insulting to me. Like, I was actually, because I saw the character names and I was like, oh, okay, well.
Dan, have you seen The Invitation yet?
I had
the new one, not the good one.
The vampire thing, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
I had it on, and since we weren't reviewing it, I didn't even make it through the whole thing.
Oh,
Like
okay.
I was just like, background noise. So I can't truthfully.
Because I'm wondering if that had an impact on me, because I did see that in theater and I saw that one first.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, from what I saw, that wasn't very good, but it was better than this.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just nothing to it. Neil LaBute hits very similar themes. I'm going to actually say something that's shocking in a minute, but similar themes, toxic masculinity and all that stuff. And he has done good work before. Piz just name dropped in earlier. Felt very good. Go check that one out.
Company of Men. In the Company of Men. I'm sorry.
This was borderline almost worse than Black Christmas, not 2019.
Oh, you're on drugs, dude. It's nowhere near as bad as that. That sucks that you had that bad of a time, but
it's close.
You don't think his character is a little bit of a fucking douchebag?
Yeah, of course he is. But there's nothing interesting about him or the girls. I mean,
I get that, but like, at the end, I feel like where the final act takes us, I mean, you kind of see that coming throughout the whole thing, yes, but I don't know. There was some type of satisfaction there for me. I don't know.
This could have, I mean, maybe you could have condensed this. Honestly, no.
Into a short, it would have been fine.
Even if you condensed it, though, into a 15-minute short, I would probably just be like, forget about it in a couple days. I am shocked. Like I said, I thought this would be like zeros from us all.
The power of Justin Long, sir.
He's Justin Long.
Justin Long and Gore will never fail Michael Kruger.
Yeah, but there was only the ending. Like,
I mean, there's movies that build up to way more that do not deliver. So I've been way more disappointed in the past, especially this year.
Okay. Well, I don't know. We'll see. We've got we're about 24 hours or little over 24 hours out from
so I can do that shit.
Halloween ends. So,
motherfucker, why the fuck you got to bring it up?
I'm just
can't help it.
I haven't seen it yet. I'm more likely to like that now that I've watched this because there's really
okay. So, let's take the win.
There you go.
Let's rate this then.
let's go ahead and rate it. With every fiber of my being, I give this one a 0. There is nothing here.
Zero for the House of Dan. Great.
Fuck the House of Darkness. Fuck it.
Let me say Dan. What about you, Ms. Kruger?
I'm a 2 out of 5. I'm not going to act like it's fantastic or if it's even average. It's definitely below average. But Justin Long and Gore made me not absolutely despise this movie. So there's that.
I'm also a 2 out of 5. I don't feel like I wasted my time. I don't think I'll ever watch it again. But I did like the house, and it was fine. Not offensive for me. Apparently, though, it has its enemies out there.
I'm predicting a 0 from Todd too on that one. But
Todd, if you're still around, type in your vote, and I'll read it out loud.
There you go. All right. Well, in the meantime, hopefully, on to something better. We'll see.
We shall see.
We will see. So, all right. Our next film comes from prolific indie director Brandon Slagle, and also written by James Cullen Bressick of Hate Crime fame.
Yeah,
a lot of talents on this one. Devanny Pinn, of course, another indie horror star, been around for a very long time. Vernon Wells we'll get into Vernon Wells, but I mean, Road Warrior, Commando, Circuitry Man, a personal favorite, Fortress, King of the Ants. Vernon Wells is a legend. So, anyways, Frost. In this one, a young woman and her estranged father fight to survive after being stranded on a remote mountainside during a winter storm. Okay, so I'm a big fan of survival movies. I'm usually an easy mark for that. Just people trapped out in the wilderness or something like that and just coming together to try and survive. And that's kind of what this seemed like. This is very, storyline-wise, this is very by the numbers, people out in the elements trying to survive. And I was enjoying it. Vernon Wells is great. Devanny Pinn, very good actress. I've been watching her now. I mean, God, over maybe 10 years, maybe close to 15. She's been around. and they had really good chemistry. They do a good job sort of establishing the estrangement, and there's love there. They obviously love each other, but circumstances happen. They're trying to patch it up. We don't spend a ton of time on that because it gets right into the action. The car veers off of a cliff and it's dangling over a cliff. They have to deal with a wolf at one point. He's going for help. The danger and the suspense is heightened by the fact that she is very, very pregnant and ready to give birth at any time. So standard story, but very well told. I was really enjoying it a lot. I will say this, and we'll talk about this in spoilers because I don't want to give anything away, but this takes a doozy of a turn towards the end. There is this, and you're not going to expect it. Very strong shift in tone, and it works. It really does, because I did not think that was coming, and it sets this movie apart for me because I like the cast. I think I've enjoyed some of the director's work before, but I didn't really have expectations as such, and this one really rose above being average at the end, because holy crap. That's all I'll say about that, but I enjoyed this very, very much. Pugs, how about you?
Excuse me. I did not enjoy the journey as much as you did because I thought there was some shoddy acting, but the destination was definitely worth the trip. This movie is wild, and stick with it if you had a hard time like me, because it's worth it. That I really, really ended up liking this movie a ton. So yeah, that's all I'll say. Destination's worth the journey.
Yeah.
I am excited to hear what you
Kruger, before you go, I was like, man, I hope he sticks with this one, because
I was the first one to see it amongst us, and I was like, you have to stick it out.
Well, you guys were telling me that beforehand, and what did you say the main character's name was? The actress, Dan?
Devaney Pinn.
Yeah, I thought she was so fucking goddamn hot. Like, that is totally the woman I would have wifed up 3 years after she had the kid. So like, I was actually like just really intrigued with her because I found her so fucking attractive, and I thought she was a good actress. And I liked her little relationship between her and her father, and the struggle that they went through after what happened to her mother and her father's alcoholism kind of coming into play. That was nice. And I thought the story put you pretty quickly into the action, but once we get into the main scenario, it does get very slow for a while. But once that shit picks up, holy fuck, does this bring one of the most haunting final acts I've seen in a movie in a very long time. If you're an extreme horror fan, I would suggest this one to you because of how fucked up things get by the end of this movie. And
stick it out.
And overall, I don't think it's fantastic. It definitely has its issues, but as an extreme horror fan, it brings the violence in one of the most darkest endings I think I've seen all year. And my suggestion is stick with it. It pays off and makes you go, what in the fuck did I just watch by the end of the movie? And that's a very, very high praise for me. I don't, it's not going to make a top 10 or anything like that for me this year. But I am very intrigued to see what this director and this writer are going to do from now forward, knowing that they are not scared to, go into the areas of taboo violence. And I'll just leave it at that. Can't wait to talk about it in spoilers. Also, if you like this movie, you got to check out this movie called Perfect that came out in 2013. Similar type of violence in that final act that we're talking about. And it's another weird one, but stick with it if you're an extreme horror fan. And yeah, it gets my stamp of approval.
Nice.
Yeah, I enjoyed the journey, and I really enjoyed the destination at the end. And it's also good. Vernon Wells, actually, we've had a couple movies in recent memory where he's in it for like 30 seconds. So it's always nice to see him get
pulling a Trejo.
Something meaty again to work with, because I've said for a while now, like, there's certain actors the name doesn't mean anything because they're usually in it for 2 minutes if you're lucky. And Yeah, this is a small indie film that I think thoroughly delivered, and I was very, very happy with it. So, yeah, if you like survival stuff that goes into some surprisingly dark territory, check this one out. I'm a 3.5. I really love this one.
3 stars from me, 3 out of 5.
This one hit hard home from it hit a home run by the end. It's a 4 out of 5 for me.
Nice.
Even though I shit on the beginning, but it's definitely worth
it. There's nothing. This is the perfect example of, and
Payoff.
you know, like just a random movie that maybe you buy for $10 in Walmart that actually comes through for you.
Well, yeah, by the end, you're going, what the fuck did, like, I can't
it set me
stress
up
that,
for sure.
I can't stress that enough. What was that fucking shitty movie that was similar to this? Centigrade or whatever the fuck that came out a few years ago with a bitch with a placenta in the car? That shit sucked terribly. Yeah, that movie was so fucking bad. If you hated that movie, you got to watch this, and it will give you what you were asking for on that one.
All right. So, our next film, which I'm very excited about, this is a long-running series, and this one is the 4th in the franchise, Plaga Zombie: American Invasion.
Did not realize it had 3 predecessors. Wow.
Well, yeah, and cool. I'll get into that because actually the trilogy is getting put out by Severin, probably any time.
Oh.
I ordered it. In fact, it should be shipping fairly soon. But yeah, so this is from from director Gary Medeiros and guest directors Pablo Perez, who was the guy that directed the Argentinian trilogy early on, and also another guest director, Hernan Saez. So yeah, so this is Plaga Zombie: American Invasion, and in 1997, an alien race attempted an invasion in a small city of Argentina by fertilizing the human population and turning them into bloodthirsty zombies. The plan almost worked until 3 unlikely heroes emerged, battling back the zombies and ultimately destroying the alien mothership. Now, 16 years later, the aliens are back to their old tricks. Their target this time around is America, and the city of New Bedford, Massachusetts is quickly overrun by the alien zombie infestation. To contain the outbreak, the American government detaches the city at its fault line, setting it adrift into the Atlantic Ocean. Will our 4 heroes prevail over the hordes of zombies and stop the alien invasion?
What a description.
All right. There you go. Yeah, long one. So I've always been a fan of these films. They are cult favorites. The first one came out in like 97, I believe. If you were a Fangoria reader, probably heard a lot about that. And the sequels, they're very popular in Argentina. I found over the years, just conversing with people in all over the globe on Facebook and social media, these are pretty well regarded, and I was excited to see, they're taking it to America this time. And this actually, the genesis of this film, the new director is a fan and friends with the original filmmakers, and this all came about when Ash versus the Evil Dead was debuting, and it was all a conversation like, wouldn't it be cool if Plaga Zombie, if we brought everyone back? And yeah, they said, well, go ahead and direct it. So that's essentially the genesis of this story. Now, this is horror comedy territory, low budget gore. The zombies are not typical zombies because they're alien possessed. They all kind of look like demented Oompa Loompas that escape the factory.
Baseball Furies, but yeah, that works.
That works, yeah. And the original heroes are kind of factored in here: John West, Bill Johnson, Max Griggs. If you watch the previous films, if you haven't, you're still okay. Like, you're not really missing much. You can jump into this without being lost or anything. And we follow our new characters, Sammy, who is an independent wrestler, kind of trying to make it, but he's getting a little bit old. And his buddy Manny, and we get a sort of snake skin new character called Cobra, I believe was his name.
Yes.
And Cobra Guevara.
It's not Cobra Tate, which was unfortunate, but
God damn it.
So
would have been perfect.
This movie from beginning to end is just a wild, fun time. Obviously, the pro wrestling element I thought was fun. There are countless gore gags that I thought were just hilarious. We get a pervert that goes around flashing the zombies, and he gets his dick torn off. That made me laugh. We get somebody at one point. Sammy, our wrestling character, puts one of them in a Boston Crab and then rips the legs off and uses the legs as weapons. This is just over the top, gory fun. And I just had a blast with it. I'm definitely going to rewatch that original trilogy once Severin sends the Blu-rays out. I've got 2 orders I'm waiting for you, Severin. Come on, pick it up. But yeah, we get cyborgs. We get all sorts of crazy shit.
They break into song.
They do break into song at one point, and yeah, I had a lot of fun with this one.
Yeah, brought out old Dan. No, did you watch this, Kruger?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I did.
I was advised not to watch this one because I'd probably hate it.
The song got me. I'm like, yeah, I think you would like it more than you think you currently would, but you have to be really patient with it.
I'm not gonna listen to you. Dan sold it like it was the best shit ever. I'm like,
that's because it touched Dan in his member berries. But if you want to see this movie, it's currently available. It's currently available on Amazon Prime, where you can pay for it, or you can watch it on Tubi. Test the waters, and make your decision after that. I'm kind of with Dan. I think Dan likes it a little more than I do. I think this is a ball. It's dumb as hell. But was I laughing the whole time? Pretty much. When it broke into song, I did roll my eyes so I can see my brain. And when I started looking at the screen again, he was still singing all 80s style. And it happened. It went on for so long that I started enjoying myself. So, yeah, it's just dumb fun. Press play on Tubi. It's stupid, but I liked it, and I like it enough to check out the previous 3 because I had no idea this was an ongoing series. As popular as it is, never fucking paid attention to it.
Yeah, good time to pick up that original trilogy, which I do recommend. I think you'll enjoy it quite a bit. This was just the movie I needed after House of Darkness. It's a party flick. If you can, get a bunch of friends together and sit down and watch it. And actually a good double with another movie we're still going to cover soon. I don't go in expecting like the traditional zombies. I know that's like one complaint. It's like, why are they orange? Why are they blue? And I was like, well, they're not really traditional zombies. It's just, yeah, they're bright. They're goofy. It's fun. There's all sorts of, like I said, highlight zombies in this. And I laughed my ass off. And I think this is something that probably a lot of listeners, and certainly myself, when the girlfriend was breaking up with Sam, and she says this was the final straw, and she opens up that package, and it was a John West wrestling figure. But it was a Sergeant Slaughter action figure, which just made me laugh my ass off.
$150, right?
$175.
$175.
Then I think he's just like, it'll go up in value. I was like, yeah, okay, that's pretty much that's hitting close to home, but that's
yeah. You don't tell me how to spend my money, bitch.
I would have just opened the door. You're gonna be sorry when it's worth $500 on eBay, you dumb bitch. So yeah, I just love it. This one hit me just right. And,
Okay.
so if you like goofy, over the top zombie movies, check this out. Grab the Severin trilogy and ship it to me, Severin. I can be vindictive. Please ship it soon. I'm just out of patience. Having said that,
no need to threaten them.
Yeah, what the fuck are you doing threatening another company for?
If I ever get power, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to be like, I expect my stuff 2 weeks.
This is why you will never get power, fuckhead.
So
you
anyway.
saw what happened the last time your people got power.
Oh, that's fucked up. That's fucked up. I'm going to cancel you for that one.
It's
But
my
anyway,
people too, so I can say it.
But anyways, yeah. So this movie's not for everybody. Again, anytime horror comedy, that's gonna hit with.
I would go comedy horror in this one.
Fair
in
enough.
this case,
comedy horror. A lot of gore though, for sure. I am a 4.5. I love it.
You are a madman.
I fucking loved it. You gave 2 stars to House of Darkness, and I'm gonna say that's
fine. Menus at restaurants, that's why they have them. I'm a 2.5 out of 5.
Okay.
Yeah, it's highly enjoyable, but honestly, I would say it has background noise because you don't have to pay attention. Just when something catches your eye, start paying attention and go back to cleaning.
It made me laugh. I liked it.
Of course, you're a child.
In the
brain.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you found your fucking funny bone again, Dan. It's great. What's up?
I will say I'm probably gonna watch this now that you guys have
they end up suplexing Dan again.
Yeah, I think you'll be okay. I mean, I know what he was talking, but I think you'll be okay.
We will see.
All right. So the next film that we're going to cover, I believe, in fact, it was you, Ben, in the chat that said we should check it out, and I know several other people enjoyed this one, and it is our Shudder original DEADSTREAM. And in this, from directors Joseph Winter and Vanessa Winter, I believe a couple, and they also have a story for VHS 99 coming out later this month. So we'll be covering another one of their films. And in this, a disgraced internet personality attempts to win back his followers by live streaming one night alone in a haunted house. But when he accidentally pisses off a vengeful spirit, his big comeback event becomes a real-time fight for his life. All right, so this is, like I said, yeah, I'm giving it to you. Don't worry.
I'm begging for it.
I'm passing it. Don't worry. Horror comedy, similar to Dashcam, which we also similar in setup to Dashcam, the social media
multiple ways.
Yeah,
I would say.
And I'm kind of curious to get your guys' thoughts on this because Dashcam, a lot of people just couldn't take the lead character, and I don't know if it'll be as extreme in this case. But yeah, Kruger, tag in first.
All right. Well, I will tell you guys, I was very excited for this movie because I saw so many great reviews going in, and then I watched it on Saturday, and I was pissed, legitimately pissed off. I didn't like it at all. So before coming on today, I told myself maybe you were just on your period that day, Mike.
Man-streeting.
Yeah, man-streeting and fucking probably had too many shots of whiskey. But so I rewatched it today, and I didn't hate it as much, but I do still have issues with this film. And I don't think it's fantastic or as great as everybody's been hyping up. Just for me personally, I felt the same way about Dashcam, though, and I'm glad you brought it up because I was not a fan of that one either. And, you know, it had some great gags in it, but at the end of the day, after watching it, I was like, I don't know if that's something I'd ever give another chance, or, you know, it was fine with what it did well, but I was so annoyed by the characters that I just didn't want to watch the fucking movie. And I'll say this, I like the concept of this jackass YouTube stunt guy being canceled and then trying to win his viewers back by staying in this famous haunted house overnight during a live stream. But that YouTuber, Sean, is just so fucking annoying to me, possibly because I've been in relationships with people that watch online, haunted house explorers on YouTube that sound exactly like this fuck, and it drives me nuts just because I don't believe in that shit. And I watch those videos and I think they're boring as fuck because nothing ever goddamn happens. And that's how I was feeling about this movie for a while. That just nothing was fucking happening. And
Todd says just picture Dan as our lead, or he just pictured Dan as the lead.
Flesh Wound Features will make it happen.
If it was Dan, I probably would have actually enjoyed it a little bit more because this guy was on a whole nother level of fucking annoying. And so to the point where the dialogue was getting me just wanting to turn the movie off because it was giving me a fucking headache. I was just like, I do not want to hang out with you anymore, asshole. But I will say once a certain character comes into play in the story, eventually I did start to get a little bit interested to see where things were going to go. And I started to guess where the story was going to go. But unfortunately, if it took what felt like another fucking eternity for something to happen. And once it does, I'll give the movie credit. We get a lot of fun Evil Dead-like gags throughout it, some great looking creature effects. But even with the good, I just felt like I needed more by the end of it to fully give my stamp of approval on this thing. I didn't hate it as much as I hated it the first time, but like I said, it just reminded me of Dashcam, where there's a lot of stuff I like that happens on screen eventually, but the characters are so fucking annoying that I want to see, and not even the point to where I just want to see them die, to the point where I just want to turn the movie off because I can't stand their voices anymore. And I felt like also in Dashcam gave me a little bit more than what this movie did at the end. But maybe if this was like a segment in a VHS film, I could have digested it a little bit better. But with the length of it being a full feature, me hating the characters and stuff, I wasn't as impressed as I should have been. I know there's some stuff that this movie does great, and it calls back to one of the greatest horror films of all time. And I'm not going to fault you for enjoying that. But for me, I just, even watching it twice, and I was on my period the first time, but on the second time, it just stayed almost the same. A little bit better on the second watch, but still at the same time, it wasn't something that I wanted to like it way more than I ended up liking it because of the characters and because of having to stay with such an annoying motherfucker.
Ben Grimm says the movie seems to live and die by how you can take the main guy.
Yeah,
pretty accurate. For me, I was actually talking about this movie with Evil Ed, and he called it Cutie Pie versus the Evil Dead, and I'm like, yeah, that's it. That's exactly what it.
Cutie Pie?
Yeah, that, whoever that is.
That makes actual perfect sense because I can't stand that cocksucker either.
Yeah, the high pitched that got me every fucking time. I enjoyed this. This is stupid, and then it gets gory and yeah, it's just dumb fun. I feel bad that you don't like it that much, but I understand because I have those similar feelings to movies that people love. I don't want to bring it up because I'm not like Dan, but this one for me, it's a good time. I do watch it. Dan?
Oh, I think actually this is fantastic.
Okay.
Now, anytime horror and comedy is always a tough mix, no matter what, because as has been said many times, a lot of times it ends up just not being very scary or not being very funny. It's a hard line to walk. Now, obviously, there's strong comparisons to Dashcam, which came out, I think, earlier in the year. And with Dashcam, which shockingly I liked, and I don't think I would have liked it, a few years ago. I've gotten to know a lot of these types of streamers in the past few years. Not exactly, but like there was a big one that came into a random Hayden stream like a year or two ago.
All right.
Alki something or other, like big, like shit stirrer basically. So like I kind of get it a little bit more than I think I would have a few years ago. Dash Cam, I didn't think. I liked Annie Hardy a lot in that, but she didn't necessarily totally come off as a real person. I felt like with Deadstream, you might have an easier time because this guy kind of does just feel like an asshole YouTuber kind of guy. And it I don't know, I think it might be a little bit easier to swallow than she was in that, because I know a lot of people that Dash Cam's going to be on some best of and a lot of worst of the year lists for 2022, no doubt. So I think what they did well here, there are genuine scares in this. As goofy of a lead character as he is, I think they had some excellent moments of horror, some really cool effects. And Ben Grimm says, I mean, him acting like Twitch people we know makes him feel more accurate to that type. Yeah.
Ice Lord or something.
Yeah, it's the scares are there. This balances horror and comedy shockingly well. When it started, I wasn't too sure. I was like, I don't know about this. But, as he enters the house, and it's a found footage horror comedy, but this hits all the right notes on the horror and comedy fronts, and that's damn hard to do. They also do a good job with the cameras. You kind of see him taking time to actually duct tape some cameras all over the place, so you get some angles that in another found footage movie you might be like, well, it doesn't make sense that we're seeing that. Here it kind of makes sense and it works. Excellent practical effects, some creatures, the bathtub scenes, really effective. The sheriff that pops up, and the whole. I just loved it. This movie's a ride, man. I'm shocked tonight. I would have never predicted you guys not to love this one, or even.
Well, I haven't really given my
I'm pretty sure
affection. I'm pretty positive on it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm the only one that didn't like it.
I thought some fives might be coming out for you guys on this one, but
I'm not
beginning to end, this one is just, again, it's another Halloween party flick that just have a bunch of friends over, turn down the lights, and you will have a blast. As goofy as the guy comes across, and I get that's an issue for people. Todd loved it. I figured. I was, man, it just kicked my ass.
I think I stand by what I said. Like, if it was a VHS segment, I think it would have fit, better for me. But like going in, I just wanted to see the worst things possible happen to this human being. You don't understand.
I get that, but he made me laugh. Like, he had some
but I didn't like that. I think that's where I like stray away from everybody. I didn't find this movie funny at all. Like even the window jumping scene that everybody's going hands over heels about, like, or heels over head about. Sorry,
head over heels. There you go.
Yeah, big fucking difference.
They lose their mind.
I'm seeing a lot of people talk about how hilarious that scene was, and again, watching it today for the second time, I didn't laugh. Maybe I just have a weird sense of humor, and if somebody's dick isn't getting cut off, I can't laugh at it.
You didn't laugh when he got his dick bit? Like, I thought that was funny.
It was okay, but maybe if he would have got it bit off and chucked at a wall and played with it, like a certain other horror icon was doing in another movie that is out this year, I would have had a better time. I'm not gonna lie, like, some great effects, like, especially for a found footage movie, some really cool creature effects, and if you're a fan of Evil Dead, I would say you definitely have to watch this at least once.
For sure. Yes. I loved it when he loaded that gun up with his own bobblehead.
With the fucking bobblehead. Yeah,
that was hilarious.
That was cool.
The granny, when she's like explaining like the lore, and then she just all of a sudden was like, oh shit, he's gonna die. Just the line delivery, everything, some of the texts going on the stream as he's going through everything. I thought they hit a home run. I just, beginning to end, this is a ride. It's Evil Dead 2 meets Dash Cam, and
I think that's a very fair assessment.
Yeah, and I won't give anything away, but towards the end, just
save it for spoilers.
Yeah. This one, I think a lot of people are gonna like. I'm curious as different people check it out to get their thoughts, because this is gonna be on a lot of top 10 lists. So, and it's a rough year. Like, I have no idea how I'm gonna whittle it down to 10.
Yeah, this year has been a very, very strong. Like, I was bullshitting with you earlier in the year, telling you you're full of shit about it, but by now, this year is strong as fuck. Probably the strongest we've had since 2020, or maybe even past that, maybe 2019.
There's stuff that I loved this year that is just not going to be on the top 10 just because it's a tough year.
I haven't decided if I could fucking give Texas Chainsaw Massacre a spot or not, so that's saying something. You know how much
we got a couple months away.
Some are not too difficult to decide for me, but yeah. Wouldn't that be fucking wild if I ended up loving Halloween Ends and it was like number 1?
There's no fucking way in hell.
That we should start like a pool, because you can win a lot of
money. Do what you want.
And if you like it, I'm gonna fly down there and beat your ass from what I already know about the.
Why would you?
Hold on,
I know a lot.
I don't know anything, so let's not do that.
No, we're not going to do that. But I've been spoiled on a lot about this fucking thing. If Dan likes it, I'm going to come down there and beat the shit out of him.
I think I know well, I shouldn't say everything, but I know a lot.
Let's stop speculating.
I'm not saying anything.
Okay. Rate this fucking thing.
So, man, this one's so unique, and it's very hard to pull this off. I'm a 5. Yeah. Damn. Because I'll remember this, and this is so hard to do. A found footage horror comedy that delivers on the scares and the comedy just blended perfectly. Yeah, I'm a 5. I can't come up with
what Kruger did, though, when you said you gave a movie he didn't like a 5? He respected it and moved on. Todd is a 4.5 out of 5. Maybe don't be a dick all the time.
I should have fucking just said stupid ass rating like he fucking did last time.
There's gonna be a lot of perfect ratings on this. I get it with the character. I get it, but it didn't bother me at all.
I am a 3.5 out of 5. I liked it.
And I'm a 2.5 out of 5.
That's way better than I thought it was gonna be.
No, like I was a 1.5 the first viewing, but then
I thought it was gonna be lower than that. Actually,
no, I was just upset because everybody loved it, and I was like, I'm a found footage guy.
The hype up is real. Yeah,
and then I went in, and I was just like, this is fucking dash cam all over again, but maybe not as well paced. I still do like dash cam more than I like this movie, though. And that's another one that I wasn't big on, but there's a lot it does right. And I don't need to love everything about a movie to give it a halfway decent rating. When it does what it does well, especially in this one, it does it well. So,
okay. So there you go. Dashcam available on Shudder now. And shout out Chris / your home video in the chat. All right. So our next film from writer-director Brian Papandrea is Spooky Dookie, which is it's best name of the year. I'll give you that. So this is from Rock Bottom Video, the filmmakers behind Fang Boner, Gay for Prey, a lot of classics there. And this
mostly Flesh Wound approved films.
This is a horror comedy in the vein of the WNUF Halloween special, and it is kind of hosted by the Gatekeeper. And there really is no set story. It's a series of vignettes. The Gatekeeper is legendary.
I love it.
So, this is 60 minutes. Kruger, I don't care what Todd says. You should watch it. It is fucking hilarious.
I don't think you should. I think I should send you clips or timestamps of what you should watch.
In the interest of fairness, that I do know somebody in the cast, Victor Bonacore, who plays Mr. Dio. He's a friend of mine from back in the chiller. No, I'm honest. I got to throw it out there. He is a friend of mine from back in my chiller convention days. So wanted to throw it out there. You know, so I don't think it influenced anything, but it is something to put out there. And we're not like some websites out there like that. Yeah. But anyways.
Hey, man, there's motherfuckers out there saying that Disney is paying for people to rate the new Hellraiser well. So
I don't think you have to. I think.
Well, if we asked Todd, he'd say, "Yeah."
I'm just saying. I've seen some of this shit going on in the horror community.
I wouldn't be shocked if Disney has developed a lot of backlash for certain things, and there are a lot of people that will just.
Well, I honestly love most of Disney and Marvel stuff. So if you guys want to reach out and pay me, by all means, you're going to get your money's worth. It'll still be honest.
No, but seriously, I saw that the other day just scrolling through Facebook. There was some comments going back and forth about like how Disney is paying for they're paying for these Hellraiser reviews to be super good and shit like that. And I just thought it was ridiculous, but I had to bring it up because you said that.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be shocked.
And then, not to spoil anything, but apparently Dan and I were incorrect at about the end of Hellraiser because the director and the actor said what was going on at the end. And it's,
don't spoil that.
I won't. Yeah. I won't.
Was that right?
Yes.
Yeah, fuck you both.
To remember.
That's fine. It just seems
all right. So, but Spooky Dookie. This is an hour. It doesn't overstay its welcome. You get like random splices of old like Halloween themed commercials from the 90s, and I loved it. The scene where number one, it opens up like one of the first things we see is Dracula at the clinic being told that he has AIDS.
Hold on, he's HIV positive, and you have AIDS.
Yeah. And then he has to call like his massive like list of lovers to let them
worst
know.
news. The worst news you could ever get as a deathmatch wrestler, because then you need to fucking call every single person you've ever wrestled. So I feel that.
Yeah, it was just. I knew immediately that I was going to like this. Very, if you're not unfamiliar with Rock Bottom, very, Trauma-esque kind of humor. And
maybe a little lower brow, which is actually a compliment.
Definitely lower brow, but clever.
Yes.
There's a Three Stooges spoof where they don't quite understand slapstick and they just go around trying to maim people. I thought that was hilarious. There's a lot of toilet humor.
Dude, not to interrupt you again, Dan, but this is the best practical penis I've seen in God knows fucking how long. The tip, especially. Holy crap! I'm telling you, Kruger.
Look me in the eyes. Look me in the eyes.
Dude, Rock Bottom, make a T-shirt of the Crypt Keeper saying "Look me in the eyes," and I would buy it.
The Gatekeeper.
Gatekeeper.
Are you sure it was a practical penis?
You know what? It's so good, I can't tell, but there's something that might give it away. Unless it was like attached on. Amazing. I think that penis looks like when Dan discovered himself at a certain point, like early on.
That's like after a real sex marathon on HBO back in the day. That's kind of like what it looks like at the end.
Massively impressed. That's what I was.
Yeah. It's so stupid, but I laughed, man. And we talked about it earlier. There's all kinds of Halloween movies for everybody, every taste the last couple months during the season. And I think that's awesome. Pat on the back to the horror community for delivering all these different kinds of films. There's something for everybody this year. And I just laughed and laughed and laughed. I won't spoil it, but this isn't afraid to be politically incorrect.
I was going to say, it has the best talk show idea ever. And continue that series, too.
I'll just say it's called In the House with
Again, if you want to make a shirt, I will wear that.
In the house with Kyle. I won't continue. You might figure it out, but yeah, it's like this public access show, and
who
like,
he has as a guest is incredible. Hall of Famer.
Mom, if I find a tomato on my sandwich, I'm gonna shoot you.
Do I look like I want a fucking hot pocket?
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm with Dan. Dan, I'm with you on this. This is just too funny and too good not to. Dan, you want to read that one?
Zach Childwatcher says SFX by James Bell. If you dig extreme cinema, you'll dig his stuff for certain. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And this was just made for me. There's a Coffin Joe segment at one point, and if you know, you know. And
Todd,
Kruger, have you dipped into Coffin Joe's stuff yet?
No.
Okay, you should.
Todd is chiming in with really bummed I got the plague and couldn't make the show I loved. A depraved WNUF Halloween special.
That's
Todd,
yeah.
Without going too into detail, Todd managed to blow it silently, like secretly, and let us know his love for it. So yeah, I know for a fact he loved this fucking thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's pretty great too. It's again that penis. I was just so fucking impressed. I like. It sounds weird saying that, but also fucking bravo, Kruger. You gotta check that part out.
It was a primo peen. Absolutely.
You can put that on the box art.
Put that on the box art.
Primo peen.
Features. Primo peen. Yeah. And the masturbation gag that just kept going. It was so funny. Another one. It's a theme tonight. Movie buddy
though. I have to interject in here because you keep referring to me when you're talking about the penis. I like dick trauma in movies. There's your fucking why everybody's saying Kruger watched.
Oh no. Yeah, this for the effects. Dan's one that likes dick.
I love that. But yeah, just where they're going down into the lair, and then it's like, look at it, look in the eye, look at it.
Yeah, dude, it's so good.
Do you still have the spooky dookie rap in your head? Because that was like, oh my god, I can't get it out.
It's that one, and actually the song after it on the credits was pretty good. Heartstrings or something. Made this over 5 weekends for less than $500. Zach, why can't I read today? Childwatcher said, "Right on, dude."
Yeah.
Again, Spooky Dookie too. Spooky Dookie deuces.
The director Brian Papandrea, I probably said your name wrong before, my bad. It also plays the gatekeeper, which bravo, that was just awesome.
In a film with two of my other heroes, and he stands out. It's amazing.
Yeah, man. I know Victor has a new movie out himself called Thrust. I have to get with him and get him on the show at some point. I've been meaning to forever. Thrust with Aaron Brown. So
right.
Yeah, very excited to check that out as soon as I can. Yeah, this is just fucking hilarious, and it's an hour, so even if it's not quite your thing, it goes by. It'll make you laugh a few times, even if it's not your thing. I really think, even Kruger, I think you would get some.
Yeah, this is 2 for 2. I'm done listening to you assholes. I'm just gonna watch everything now.
Okay,
just watch everything. You never know. There were some surprises this week. This was a very surprising week. I mean, we had one, at least for me, that I thought was going to be good and I hated, and then some stuff that really over delivered, I thought, and this is one of them. I want that public access show to be a thing because I would watch every goddamn episode.
I also believe that the BBW in the beginning is Todd's like, you're already playing with house money, because that worked for me.
Yeah, this is those she was very talented. I think bigger than the entire Front Row Mafia, and it was glorious. So put together.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah, man, this one just put a big smile on.
Todd says the baddest BBW.
Yeah, man, this one
Easy,
just made
Dan.
me laugh from beginning to end. Oh, and the old lady that falls down the stairs, and Dracula calls him thinking it's Catherine Deneuve. This was made for me. Coffin Joe shows up. I mean, my God, I love this movie so much. Zach, did you work on the film?
Yeah.
He said
special effects.
Maybe I missed it. I'm okay. Oh, you did. Okay, you did the effect. All right, awesome, man. Congratulations. Really good movie. I really hope people check this out because I had a blast with it.
Brian and Sadie are both in Thrust too, Zach says.
And he also said he made this over 5 weekends for less than $500, which absolutely fantastic.
Oh no shit! Marilyn Mason in the beginning is also in the remake of SOV classic Evil Knight. Oh, I thought I recognized that chick. Awesome. Yeah.
Very cool. Actually, randomly.
Check out the hub.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll definitely do Thrust at some point. I talked to Victor like a few months ago briefly, and I'm not on Facebook as much anymore, so I got to get a hold of him, get him on at some point. Yeah, Facebook does suck. It's weird. Everybody's like complaining.
Zach says I produced it, shot it, and edited it. Oh shit. Fun.
There you go, man. Welcome.
All in-house. High five, Zach.
Yeah. We've had like shows before where the filmmaker will be in the chat and we didn't like the movie, and that's super fucking awkward.
I'm fine with it.
So I am glad we liked your movie because that's always.
I'm sure he is too.
Yeah, guys, check this out. It's so good.
Yeah. Let's rate it.
Yeah, let's go ahead and rate it. What say you, Pugs?
I am a 4 out of 5 with a highly recommendation to watch it. Watch it high too.
I am a you know what?
Go for it, dude.
Fuck it. I'm a 5 out of 5. It's not going to be that for everybody, but I laughed my ass off for over an hour. It felt like a movie that was made for me. It came out of a dream I had or something. It's for me, it's perfect. Not going to be that for everybody.
Todd is also a 5 out of 5. Yeah.
But we need more like this.
I co-signed the fuck out of that. Yes, please.
Absolutely. So yeah. So we're gonna talk a little Chucky. We haven't watched tonight's episode yet. That'll be like our after show watch. But yeah, so talk about Chucky before spoilers, because there's not a whole
if you'll allow me to be crass for a second.
Yeah.
I thought the first half sucked more dick than the boys missed out on all summer, all those months they were gone. So, but after that, it was good. The tip part fucking sucked.
So now I heard you guys didn't like the opening, but it's a pretty lively opening.
The part
spoilers for Chucky.
Yeah.
The very opening scene is fine. It's the part where we reconnect with the boys, they reconnect with the girl, all that part fucking lame. And then right after that, it starts to pick up, and I'm back in. So,
all right, I'll add on to that. First couple of seconds of the show honestly upset me. To watch a legacy character go like that, and granted he probably isn't dead, but just to watch that and then all the CGI shitty Chuckies flying off the fucking van, like I wasn't a fan. And then we got into the storyline between Jake and what's the other kid's name? I can't
remember. The black one.
Fair enough. Jake and his boyfriend, their connection and everything going on. Granted, I'm probably not the person to connect with this type of shit, but it didn't entertain me. It felt like I was just waiting for the next scene to get on with this shit to move on to the next thing. And by the end of it, like I think this is the worst episode of the series we've gotten so far. and I think that's fair. It just doesn't have a lot going on. Even with the first episode of Chucky, the way it opened didn't have a lot going on, but it had a very memorable and funny little end piece. And this one didn't to me. And I didn't laugh. There wasn't a kill that I just thought was fantastic. And everything with the characters, like how cliche are you going to get with what's her name? Lexi's
the girl.
Yeah. How cliche you're gonna get with Lexi doing the drugs and shit. Like, you could have went a different route than what you went with that, and it felt very cliche. Felt like stuff I've seen before, and by the end of the episode, I was just like, "Fuck, this is the way you open season 2 up." Hopefully it will get better because
it's a setup episode for sure.
Yeah,
no,
but we had season 1 to set up. You don't need to do all this again. I mean, sure, for the new audiences that are tuning in for the first time, sure, but I would like a little more entertainment. That shit did not work for me.
Well, and there wasn't a the mustard bomb or whatever the fuck went off in the house. That's cool, great. It kills a kid, but it wasn't something gory as fuck on screen that you're just like, Jesus Christ, what just happened? It was one of those kills that felt meaningless in the long run because it was a character we were introduced to at the beginning of the episode, and it didn't have any gore to it. And it just felt like this is the transitional episode to move us on to better things. Hopefully that's true. But as a fan of the show, I felt like you needed to open up stronger on season 2, especially after the last fucking 5 episodes you had on the show.
This has been pointed out a lot, and I'm not sure. I know we're jumping like a year or so, but it is I'm not going to lie. It's a little strange, like the Lexi character, how old they're supposed to be. And there's some creepy shit, to be honest. And I know a lot of people, that's great that this has LGBTQ representation. That's great. But these kids are pretty young. Like some of the lines, like they give each other, like, I love how you look in tights. I was like, it's a little weird. I'm not going to lie.
How old are the kids?
Much. I want to say in season 1, and
they're
I could be wrong.
High school, right?
No, I think they made them
they were in high school
or 14. 13 or 14 in the season 1. So now
either way, they're entering puberty. It's not that weird. I mean, it's weird for an adult to hear, but it's really not that weird for those characters.
And how old are they actually? I mean, it would be a lot weirder if they were.
I don't know how old
young.
the actors
You know
are,
what I mean?
But I'm sure they're older than that now. But
not legal age, so easy.
I can't lie. Like there were a few moments where I felt it was a little bit odd.
It was like that in season 1, though. Even between
they're going harder though. Like I see.
I don't think so. Fucking season 1 has how many makeout scenes and people getting hot and heavy? I mean, come on.
And again, I want to be clear. Like that's just. It's weird. It doesn't matter if it's a straight couple or gay couple. It's a little bit odd, and I know a lot of people have issues with it, and I understand.
Slash your own video. They had a lot to unpack and set up. I'm sure it'll get better from here.
I think it might be too, because like when we arrive at Burlington Academy, like okay, I can kind of see where this is going, and I enjoyed season 1 overall.
But I'm really confused on what you're talking about. Is weird because
he's uncomfortable with underage children saying
kids, and there were.
But we haven't seen that before in all of cinema.
Could have been uncomfortable with that.
No, there's movies where you've seen it.
And does
Powder, motherfucker? Shut up.
Powder.
That was me.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Well, Sean. Yeah. I mean, that's creepy because of the director, but yeah. Well, it's anything from him, but yeah, you know what? I had fun with it. It not a lot in the way of gore, but we didn't get that in every Chucky episode. I think it's coming. For an opening,
like for a premiere, it should have some bigger impact than what we did get.
Yeah, I thought it was okay. The opening scene with Andy, I think, was like, okay, that's their like. They gave it to us at the beginning. That's the big moment. Although I think Andy's obviously coming back. So, But yeah, we get that big, car chase and everything. There's some excitement here.
Let's
I don't
bring
have
up
any
slash your
issues
home, slash your home video. That's why they used 30-year-olds back in the day. People bag on that, but it wasn't weird to watch them get frisky.
I mean, that's
there.
fair,
Yeah.
but I would like to know how old these kids actually are. I mean, let's argue with that one.
They're probably between 13 to 16.
I would think like 16, but
I'm gonna check right the fuck now. You guys go on.
just turned Zachary Arthur plays Jake, just turned 15. So he would have been like 13, 14 in season 1, roughly, depending when they shot it.
Around like just after puberty or puberty around, they're bound to talk about sex and.
Oh, I'm not saying.
I thought they were older.
But I do understand like that conversation could make people uncomfortable. Orientation, not a factor. They're children, so
yeah, they're all pretty close to the age.
Todd says all under 18. Lexi is 16. Well, that's the important one, I guess.
And season 1 though too, like it just I get it, and I don't want to bring it up because again, I could care less. I love
sounds like you
the
do.
Chucky franchise, but it's a little odd. It's a little odd.
Sure,
I'm just gonna throw it out there. But
I'm hoping it gets better because I had a blast with the first season. The second half of this episode I thought was fine, but I know what they're capable of because of the first season, and that's what I want. So
yeah, and I stand by. This is the worst episode of Chucky we've gotten so far.
It's a build episode. We'll see. I'm like kind of just.
But even as a build, like you compare it to any other episode we got in season 1, I don't think it lives up to that.
There were a couple points towards the end where I'm worried we're slipping closer. Well, at least in season 1, I was like, are we getting closer and closer to Seed of Chucky? Because I think the less you have of Seed, the better.
Seed is coming. I mean, Glenn and Glenda is already on the fucking way. You already know. So, I am interested though to see where they're going to go with that character as a Seed of Chucky fan. I don't love the movie. I don't like, I'm not going to champion it or anything, but it's one that I watched when I was a kid that I still enjoy to this day.
Ben Grimm says, people always say kids didn't do that when I was their age.
Oh, I'm not saying
I knew a girl in 6th grade that had a pregnancy scare.
Oh yeah, I did as well. Like I'm not saying it's not accurate. It's odd, and I understand. There's a lot of people that think it's odd right now.
Todd says Seed is an awesome Hollywood parody. I would disagree with the awesome part.
I'm due a rewatch of Seed. Like I've said it before, I think the Chucky franchise, Child's Play franchise as a whole, is pretty damn awesome overall. Seed's the only one I just never loved. I might on another watch. Curse is awesome. I love Curse.
For me, it's Cult of Chucky and Chucky 3. Those are the two that sit at the bottom of my barrel always.
Chucky 3 is awesome, dude. Chucky's gonna be a bro.
Chucky 3 above Curse? Or Cult. I keep getting those two mixed up. I love Curse, but Cult of Chucky I thought was a big letdown with the way they ended the movie. But now maybe that we have the series, I may like it more. Who knows? One of these days, once this fucker ends, I'm going to just go through and watch everything because it's all fucking canon and makes sense other than the remake. So,
yeah.
I like that one too, though.
Todd said, or I'm just saying, Todd said he finally enjoys 3. Maybe I'll get there. I've always been a guy that looked at 3 compared to 1, 2, Bride of Chucky, and all the shit we got after, and it was always at the bottom. But maybe I'll like it now. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, there's some that obviously deliver more than others, but I love that there's consistency. That if you've never watched anything in the franchise, you could watch Child's Play right now, and the story continues to where you're at right this moment on the TV show. That's amazing because there's a lot of horror franchises and that we love, even outside horror. I'm a Highlander fan. There's not a lot of consistency in the story as you go on, and I think
the only one.
I love Highlander. They're rebooting that soon.
They are.
Yeah,
And I think, aren't we getting a 4K of the original coming out soon?
it's on pre-order. Yeah,
I'm a fan of Highlander too, Dan. Big surprise.
I like Endgame. Doesn't get talked about enough. I always enjoyed Endgame. So yeah, but just getting back to Chucky, that's how I'm probably ending my night tonight. I'll be watching episode 2, which is probably playing right now.
Yeah, I feel like this is also like just because of the way season 1 is started, I don't feel as excited as I did. Like last season, holy shit, man. Every fucking up to the second it was going to be released on the app that I could see it, I was excited.
Wait till we get Fiona Dourif back, because she's my highlight. I love Fiona.
She's great.
Yeah.
No, I think she's great too, but we need more kills and more gore. But it was the same thing with the first season. I just think the first season, it set up a bunch of characters I enjoyed. And now that we've been with them for so long, I was expecting something a little bit more out of season 2. But
well, when they announced this, and it took a while to get it, I said it's going to be hard to get more than 2 seasons out of Chucky. So that could end up being
you're being generous right now. You were like, how are they going to do episodes? I think you said, I don't know how they go past 10.
Oh yeah,
I probably did at one point. So we'll see. I don't think you're going to get 7 seasons of Chucky.
No, absolutely not.
Hilarious! It goes longer than The Simpsons.
But I hope that they at least get to a point where I feel like at the end of this, it wasn't a waste of time. That's one of the things that I'm kind of concerned about. Is with seasons and shows, you have a lot of area to piss you off, and by the end of the thing, if it just turns out to be shit, in my opinion, it just feels like a total waste of time. So hopefully it's not that, but I have high hopes. But at the same time, episode 1 I thought was going to blow my socks off, and granted, I had Terrifier 2, a lot of other things going on. This month has been awesome if you're a horror fan. So it has a high bar to hit, but hopefully they hit it somewhere by the time they end this season.
Absolutely. And hopefully we'll get some new characters too. I think that'll help to put them in there. Chris, Slasher Home Video, also a fan of Fiona. She's one of the most compelling actresses today. I still think she needs that one just awesome role though to sort of put her up there with some of the greats.
Well,
she's capable of it though.
She needs to separate herself from her dad's property is what she needs to do.
Yeah, I kind of get that. I mean, she's got more eyes on her though because of the Chucky series. So
but there needs, like, she's great at doing what she's doing, but there needs to be something a little bit more out there for her.
Yeah,
I hope she gets featured somewhere to be able to shine like that.
Well, she is starring in Don't Look at the Demon. Probably won't be in theaters for much longer, but we check out our review of that from last night. Flawed, but I did enjoy it. Ben
Grimm says we need more voodoo in the show. I agree.
I agree too. Voodoo fucking magic, man. If you know that reference, you're the shit.
All right. So
she was good. I'm not reading that. Dan, go ahead.
Todd said she was good in the Purge series too. Yeah, she's always good, even if it's not a great movie. She delivers.
I haven't watched the Purge series or like half of this. I think I saw 1, 2 in the last one.
It peaked at the ball when they all had serial killer face masks, and after that, I'm like, I hate this fucking show.
Oh, I thought you were talking about my terrible theater experience. Subscribe to Patreon if you want to hear about my horrible The Purge 2 theater experience with the
Patreon.com/fleshwoundfeatures. That all starts at just $1, and we appreciate it.
The series is better than the movies, but I don't think that's a high praise at all.
Well, the last Purge movie, I was like over. It's like it's
all of them trash.
All of the I do enjoy some of them. All of them though, there's always that sense like they're not fully delivering on the idea, which is an awesome idea.
No.
If you like that, actually, there's a movie one of his direct to VOD ones called Bushwick with Batista, and it's like I can't remember all the states, but like Texas basically secedes, and it's like a big siege movie. Again, like you don't get to see everything you might like to see, but it was a fun little purge like movie. All right, so I guess we can. Any movie spoilers tonight, gentlemen?
Definitely have to talk about The Frost.
Okay, so I don't think Todd has the air raid sirens handy. If he does, you'll hear him in a second. But you've been warned. We're going to talk movie spoilers now.
Give him a 7-second countdown, and then we can make sure.
Plug shit.
There he is. So he's here. So pimp our shit, Dan. Well,
All right. Once again, patreon.com/fleshwoundfeatures. All starts at just $1. Exclusive content, shows that you can only get on there. And we'll have more soon. Of course, Todd's down with the vid, so we won't have anything tonight, but we will have some more very shortly. Check out the Monsters parody show that we have on there, and many other things. Some good stories as well. And with that being said, be sure to check out our Hellraiser show, franchise show coming up. You can listen to our review now. That works. Good enough. Halloween
I'm dead because he fucking did it right when Dan started talking about Hellraiser.
I know he's using a different. That's okay. But
no, he's on purpose. He didn't like that movie.
There's a Halloween Ends live show tomorrow.
It's Friday.
Friday, yes. So stay tuned for the Halloween Ends show, which should be fun. I'm more excited for the show than the movie. So
that makes one of us.
Nothing else. All right.
Me three, but
spoilers. Go for it.
No, we just need to talk about the fact that in Frost, this woman straight up eats her baby in one of the most visceral baby eating scenes I've seen in a very long time. I mean, I was not expecting that. For whatever reason, my brain told me this was a werewolf movie.
Oh.
And I don't know.
I just thought it was a thriller. I wasn't expecting.
Let me explain. I saw the fucking cover art and I saw somebody mention something about a wolf. So maybe those two things clicked together in my dumbass brain and was like, oh, it's a werewolf movie. So I'm expecting Werewolf Baby the whole movie. Like legit. And then I see this fucking bitch eat her baby like it was a corn on the cob. And I was like, holy fuck. And they went hard, dude. They went literally her ripping chunks out of this motherfucker and everything.
So sexy.
And yeah, well, and I already thought she was hot as fuck before. And then next thing you know, I'm having to fucking get a paper towel for my leg.
This Sunday just got 2 cherries.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting it. And I like the ending of just her just being a fucking nutcase, killing her kid. You didn't need much more than that. And it made sense. Her father was a fucking piece of shit alcoholic that got caught up because her mother died. And now he couldn't save his fucking daughter either. And
well, he was trying, though.
He tried, but he couldn't fucking do it, Dan.
I know, but he tried.
Well, fucking trying is half of the battle. Succeeding is where you get fucking praised. And at the end, like, I love the darkness of it because it feels like something that really would happen. I mean, especially when you're going through that type of cold with your brain and stuff, you're going nutty. So it would not be out of the realm of possibility for taking a chunk out of your baby like it's corn on the cob.
There is, in the graphic novel, The Boys, there is a scene where a baby gets eaten. And this reminded me of that. And I was like, you guys nailed it. I was just so impressed. I sat up and like, this was totally worth it.
My question is, where the fuck is that in The Boys season?
I don't know if it'll happen, but they will. I'm sure they'll do something to the equivalent. They haven't let us down yet.
That is true.
And it was Homelander that did that.
So. Oh.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to happen to his kid.
It's pretty awesome that, like I said, this is just, and I don't want to imply that it didn't look good or anything. I mean, it sounded like a decent enough, thriller. But there is something to be said when you pick up these like cheap movies, and it's like treasure hunting back in the day in the VHS
when you went
era
to video stores to rent.
Yeah, exactly. You never knew.
That,
the cover often let you down, and this is just one of those random ones you watch, and at the very end, and I liked the lead up too, but yeah, it just kicks your ass out of nowhere.
Well, if I pick this up at a movie, a video store or whatever, and looking at the cover, it's got a wolf on it and some chick, what the fuck ever. But you put this on, and by the end of the movie, you see this woman eating her fucking baby.
Slash Your Home Video says 2 out of 3 podcasters agree baby eating is good. I think 3 out of 3.
I mean, without the baby, can we be honest here? Without the baby eating, this movie fucking sucks.
No, I don't agree with that.
I wouldn't have had a good time with it.
It's more standard without.
2 out of 3 podcasters agree about this too.
So he's right. Baby eating is the best.
I mean, I love those sort of movies like Trapped. You got a fucking wolf all of a sudden. I like that, just dealing with the elements kind of story.
Yeah, but
it would have been more standard. I agree.
Yeah, and it wouldn't have brought a little bit of pizzazz to it. I mean, that's what the pizzazz is in this movie to me. And this is one of those things where Stephen Biro is going to be like 80 years old in the future, and he's going to be like, what movies have I not covered? Let me fucking get Frost, because there's dead baby eating in it. And if you're an extreme horror fan and you love unearthed films and you follow them as religiously as I do, you're not going to be disappointed. Even if the movie isn't approved. And even if that's the thing I love about extreme horror is there's a lot of times where the production value, the acting, maybe set designs, whatever, there's stuff that isn't perfect for the movie. But if you love that sick shit, once that sick shit hits, you are totally in ecstasy. And that's how I felt in this movie. It's not one of my highest rated movies of the year at all, but it brought the violence. We're going to
remember this one. We are going to remember this.
Well, and like I said, perfect. A little bit different, almost like American Psycho, but just mixed with a futuristic setting. It has some extreme violence in it that I wasn't expecting, and now that's always going to be why, as an extreme horror fan, I'm going to revisit that movie, and that's what I feel about this. This gets a Blu-ray, has to be in my collection, just for the sure fact that I want to knock it off the shelf one day and show somebody and make them freak the fuck out.
Absolutely. All right, is that any other movies? We're gonna talk spoilers. The Dookie, the Spooky Dookie, the penis, amazing.
Well, you already acknowledged that there.
Yeah, but I didn't say how it gets peeled off. He fucking jerks it raw, dude.
So we get
the real sex marathon. It's real.
Okay, so what type of peel are we talking? Are we talking King Kong ripping the T-Rex's mouth open?
It's just like, he's.
The gatekeeper is revealed as a pervert. He lures a guy down into his coffin setup, his pad, and all of a sudden he thinks he's gonna be told a story, and the gatekeeper is just like fucking fapping like a motherfucker, and then he's just like, look at me in the eye.
But he goes at it so hard that a piece of skin flap comes up from the shaft, and you see the redness of underneath.
Uncut?
No, he's kind of he's like peeling the
half
cut. He doesn't have a beanie, but he's hard, so maybe when he's soft.
He's decomposing.
Crypt fool.
Yeah, crypt, sorry. It was fucking hilarious. And then that's a recurring gag later, all of a sudden in bed, and it's like, look at it.
Yeah.
Look at me. Look me in the eyes.
Yeah, you assholes are not putting me off watching movies.
Sir, we're probably hyping it up way too much, and by the time you see it, you're like, that was it. So go in with a warning. I think you like parts. As a whole, I don't think you'd care for it.
All right, that's fair. But
And again, it's an hour. It's not gonna,
Oh,
Yeah,
Ben Grimm's asking if we have Deadstream spoilers. I don't.
Well, I guess I do. Little man with his conjoined twin popping out of him. That was my favorite effect of the whole fucking film. And I will say that penis degloving, that might be the hardest thing to ever see.
Dude, and the penis.
Hold on.
The crazy fangirl is hot. I'd still bang.
Oh, me too. Absolutely. Hands down. She was hot as fuck. Even if she bit my neck, I'd be like, do that somewhere else. But
while she's doing it, just go, look me in the eye.
Yeah. You'll get it when you see it.
But yeah, with Deadstream, like I loved all the last 40 minutes I thought was really good, but the first 40 to get through, it's an hour and 20-minute film. The first 40 to get through was kind of hard for me, man. I love all the Evil Dead stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, the idea of Evil Dead in a found footage setting is awesome, but give this guy a fucking shotgun or something. Give me a little bit more. Like, give me a little bit more. Let me hate this guy and then all of a sudden like him because he's just massacring all these fucking demons or something like that. Granted, that's not what this movie was going for. This movie was going for watching this guy get tortured as much as possible. But I felt like that was the same issue I had with Dashcam, is that, like, I was rooting for all the demons and entities and weird shit more than the actual characters. And by the time we got into the point where all the demons, the entities are coming in and fucking people up, I was really checked out because I didn't want to be around these people anymore. And, but that's just me. I'm glad that a lot of people love this found footage movie because the found footage genre gets shit on and shit on and shit on and shit on constantly. And there's always one or two a year. And I will stand by that. One or two a year that always surprise me a little bit. And this is one, but it's not on the level that I wanted it to be. And it can't go down as a found footage classic for me. Because I love the genre so much. There's so many things I put off this. And yeah, I mean, but I'm glad that so many people had fun with it. I definitely think it's a must watch if you're an Evil Dead fan, by far.
Yeah,
because it's the same spirit. And we could get sequels. Maybe we can get a sequel and we can have a guy with a weed whacker arm instead of a chainsaw arm. That would be cool. Just to give me some props because I'm scarred from weed whackers head to toe. But yeah, I want to see like a sequel, honestly, to this, and I want to see it go harder and better. Now that it's got all this hype behind it, give them some budget to go over the top with the second movie, and I'm in for it. It's not one of those ones that I'm going to have at my top 10 or anything like that, which is unfortunate because on paper, I should like it. But the main character and just having to deal with those paranormal motherfuckers playing in your house 24/7, I just disliked him so much.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Is that good, spoilers?
I think so. Yeah, I don't really have spoilers, but yeah, some of the effects, the scares, that movie just blended it perfectly for me. All right, so that's end of spoilers. And guys, just once again, the big Halloween Ends show's coming up, so check that out. And content every day in October. You probably missed some stuff, or if you're not just sick of us already, which is understandable. Slashtober, catch up on that tournament because it does get more.
It's getting heated already.
It's
getting heated already. I'm getting messages in the Discord.
Let's see if we're all cool by the end of October. Some of us may have given our 2 weeks.
Slow build of tension on the Slashtober tournament. So yes, scroll back, catch up. That was a good time, and Scarefest is coming up.
Fuck you, Slasher Home Video. I saw that comment, you bastard.
No.
Don't react to it. We gotta wait. He says, "Get the guest out."
There you go. I won't react.
There you go.
So yes, we're glad you're enjoying it. On that note, somebody asked about Only Dan's shirts the other day. Those are still available, I believe.
Dan, did you get one yet?
I have not.
Have you gotten any of our merchandise?
I have not.
You're a cunt.
Oh, damn.
Say goodnight.
I wasn't done promoting.
You didn't buy our shit. You don't get to. Say goodnight.
Let me cut in and clothesline them out of here real quick and just say, again, I know I already said this once before, but Terrifier2themovie.com. Go see that shit in theaters. You have a extended week to have the opportunity to see all that gore and madness and why people were passing out in the theater on the big screen. I highly recommend it, especially if you're a gore hound like me and you enjoyed the first film. You got to get your ass out to see it on the biggest screen possible. Support independent horror like that. It's already made, I think, over $1 million. And I am over the moon about the success of that movie. And I think us as a horror community, we need to support shit like this. So not only we get more Terrifiers, but we get more independent horror doing this fucking well and making icons on their own without the big Hollywood studio behind them. Shout out to everybody on the Terrifier 2 production. I am over the moon about the reception of this movie, and we need to keep adding on to it as horror fans because we need more of this and less of the Hollywood produced stuff in cinema, in my opinion.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Good night. We'll see you tomorrow.
Sweet dreams, motherfuckers, and happy Halloween.
All right. And from all of us, Todd, please feel better. We love the fuck out of you.
Yes.
And I'll see you in Disneyland.